Has everybody got everything? You all ready?
That Zeus fulfills not for us twain while we live. Nothing painful is there, nothing fraught with ruin, no shame, no dishonour that I have not seen in thy words and mine. And now what new edict is this of which they tell? That our captain has just published to all Thebes. Oh, knowest thou aught? Hast thou heard? Or is it hidden from thee that our friends are threatened with the doom of our foes?
No word of friends, Antigone, gladsome or painful, hath come to me. Since we two sisters were bereft of brothers twain, killed in one day by twofold blow. And since in this night the Argive host hath fled, know no more whether my fortune be brighter or more grievous.
Oh, I knew it well, and therefore sought to bring thee beyond the gates of the court, that thou mightest hear alone.
What is it? 'Tis plain that thou art brooding on some dark tidings.
What? Hath not Creon destined our brothers? One to honoured burial, the other to unburied shame. But the hapless corpse of Polynices, as rumours say, it hath published to the town that none shall entomb him or mourn, but leave unwept, unsepultured, a welcome store for the birds as they espy him to feast on at will. The good Creon is coming hither, to proclaim it clearly to those who know it not, nor counts the matter light, but whoso disobeys in aught. His doom is death by stoning before all the folk. Thou knowest now, but thou wilt soon show whether thou art nobly bred, or the base daughter of a noble line.
Poor sister, and if things stand thus, what could I help to do or undo?
Consider if thou wilt share the toil in the deed.
In what venture? What can be thy meaning?
Wilt thou aid this hand to lift the dead?
Thou wouldst bury him, when 'tis forbidden to Thebes!
I will do my part in thine if thou wilt not. False to a brother I will never be found.
Ah, overbold when Creon hath forbidden!
Nay, he hath no right to keep me from mine.
Ah, me, think, sister, how our father perished amid hate and scorn, when sins bared by his own search hath moved him to strike both eyes with self-blinding hand. Then the mother-wife, two knaves in one with twisted news did despite into her life. And last, our two brothers, in one day each shedding, hapless one, a kinsman's blood, wrought out with mutual hands their common doom. And now we in turn, we two left all alone, think how we shall perish more miserably than all the rest, if in defiance of the law we brave a king's decree or his powers. Nay, we must remember that we were born women, so that we must obey in these things.
I will not urge thee none nor. If thou yet shouldst have thee mind, wouldst thou be welcome as a worker with me? Nay, be what thou wilt, but I will bury him. Well for me to die in doing that.
Alas, unhappy one, how I fear for thee.
Fear not for me, guard thine own fate aright.
At least then, Disclose this plan to none, but hide it closely, and so too will I.
Denounce it! Thou wilt be found more hateful for thy silence, if thou dost not proclaim these things to all.
Thou hast a hot heart for chill indeed.
I know I please where I am most bound to please.
Aye, if thou canst, but thou wouldst what thou canst not.
Well then, when my strength fails, I shall have done.
A hopeless question not be made at all.
If thus thou speakest, thou wilt have hatred for me, and will justly be subject to the lasting hatred of the dead. But leave me, and the folly that is mine alone, to suffer this dread thing, for I shall not suffer so aught as dreadful as an ignoble death.
Go then, if thou must. And of this be sure, that though thine errand is foolish, to thine dear ones thou art truly dear.
Beam of the sun, fairest light that ever dawned on Thebe the seven gates.
Thou hast shone forth at last.
Eye of golden day,
Arisen above Darcy's streams,
Warrior of the white shield,
who came from Argos in his panoply,
have been stirred by thee to headlong flight in swifter career. Since victory of glorious name hath come to us, with joy responsive to the joy of Thebes, whose chariots are many. Let's enjoy forgetfulness after the late wars, and visit all the temples of the gods with night-long dance and song, and may Bacchus be our leader, whose dancing shakes the land of Thebes.
But lo, the king of the land comes yonder, Creon, son of Meneceus, our new ruler by the fortunes that the gods have given. What counsel is he pondering that he have proposed this special conference of elders?
Summoned by his general mandate,
No man can be fully known in soul and spirit and mind until they have been seen versed in rule and law-giving. For if any, being supreme guide of the state, cleaves not to the best consuls, but through some fear keeps his lips locked, I hold and have ever held in most space. And if any makes a friend of more account than his fatherland, then that man has no place in my regard. The rules in which I guard the city's greatness, and in accord with the edicts which I have now published to the folk, touching the sons of Oedipus, that's Eteocles, who have died fighting for our city in all renown of arms, shall be entombed and crowned with every right that falls the noblest dead to their rests. But for his brother Polynices, who came back from exile and sought to consume utterly with fire the city of his fathers and the shrines of his fathers' gods, sought to taste the kindred blood and lead the remnant to slavery. Touching this man, it has now been proclaimed to all the people that none shall grace him with sepulture or laments, but leave him unburied, a corpse for birds and dogs to eat. A ghastly sight of shame.
Such is thy pleasure, Creon,
son of Meneceus,
touching our city's foe and its friend. Thou hast the power, I ween to take what order thou wilt, both for the dead
and for all those who live.
See then that ye be guardians of the mandate.
Lay the burden of this task on some younger man.
Nay, what should the corpse have been found?
What then is this further charge that thou wouldst give?
Ye not side with the breaks of these commands.
No man is so foolish he is enamoured of death.
In sooth, that is the meed, yet lucre off rument through thy hopes.
My liege, we will not say that we come breathless from speed, or that have plied a nimble foot. For often did our thoughts make us pause and wheel round in our path to return. Our minds will hold large discourse with us. Fools, why goest thou to thy certain doom? Wretch, tarrying again?
And if Creon is from another, was not thou smart for it? So, debating, we went on our way with lagging steps, and thus a short road was made long. At last, however, it carried the day that we should come hither to thee, and though our tale may be naught, yet we will tell it, for we come with a good grip on one hook, at which is of nothing but what is our fate.
What is it that disquieted us?
We wish to tell thee first about ourselves. We did not do the deed. We did not see the doer. It would not right that we should come to any harm.
Thou hast a shrewd eye for thy mark. Whereas I fence thyself against thy blame, clearly thou hast some strange thing to tell.
Aye, truly. Dread news makes one pause long.
And tell it, will thou, and get thee gone.
Well, this is it. The corpse. Someone had given it burial and gone away. After sprinkling thirsty dust on the flesh with such other rites as pity in joints.
What sayest thou? What living man have dared this deed?
We know not. No sign of a pickaxe was there. No earth dug by a mattock. The ground was hard and dry without track of wheels. The door was one who had left no trace. And when the first day watchman showed it to us, sore wonder fell on all.
The dead man was veiled from us, not shut within a tomb, but lightly strewn with dust, as by the hand of one who had sung a curse. And no sign met the eye, as though any beast of prey, or any dog, had come nigh to him, or torn him.
King, my thoughts have long been whispering. Could this deed perchance be the work of the god?
Cease! Hear thy words, fill me with slow wrath, lest I be found a once to know man and foolish, saying that the gods have cared for his corpse. Was it for high reward, a trusty sense that they sought to hide his nakedness? Who came to burn their pillared shrines and sacred treasures, to burn their lands and scatter its laws to the winds? It cannot be! No!
What portent
From the gods is this. My soul is amazed. I know her. How can I deny that yon maiden is Antigone? O hapless, and child of hapless sire, of Oedipus, what means this? Thou brought a prisoner, thou disclosed to the king's laws, and taken in folly?
Here she is, doer of the deed, caught her burying him. But where is Creon?
Lo, he comes from the house again at our need.
What is it? What chance that makes my coming timely?
O king, against nothing should men pledge their word, for the afterthought belies the first intent. We could have had that we should not soon be here again, scared by the threats with which we have just been lashed. But since the joy that surprises and transcends our hopes is like in fullness to no other pleasure, we have come though. 'Tis in breach of our sworn oath, bringing this maid who was taken showing grace to the dead.
This time there was no casting of lots. No, this look had fallen to us, and us alone. And sire, take her thyself, question her, examine her as thou wilt. But we have the right to free and bind her of these quittance.
The prisoner, he and how, and hence hast thou taken her?
She was burying the man, thou knowest all.
Dost thou know what thou sayest? Does thou speak aright?
We caught her burying the body that thou hast forbidden to bury. Is that plain and clear?
Know thou whose face is bent, does thou vow or disavow this deed?
I avow it. I make no denial.
Thou canst partake the widow and wilt, free and clear of grave charge. Now tell me, not in many words, but briefly news that an edict had forbidden this.
I knew it. Could I help it? It was public.
And thou dared thee to transgress this law?
Yes. For it was not Zeus that had published me that I did. So for me to meet this doom is trifling grief. But if I had suffered my mother's son to lie in death an unburied corpse, that would have grieved me. For this, I am not grieved. So if my present deeds in thy sight are foolish, then it may be that a foolish judge arraigns my folly.
The maid shows herself passionate child and passionate sire, and knows not how to bend before troubles.
Summon her, for I saw her none, not mistress of her wits. Sought before the deed, the man stands so convicted in his treason, when folks have been seen plotting in the dark. But fair it is too, it is hateful when one has been caught in wickedness and seeks to make a crime a glory.
Wouldst thou do more than take and slay me?
That was different from all the other Thebans in that view.
These also share it. They just curb their tongues for thee.
Art thou not ashamed not to part from them?
No, there is nothing shameful in piety to a brother.
Was it not a brother who died in the opposite cause?
Brother by the same mother and the same sire.
Why dost thou show grace that is impious in his sight?
The dead man will not say that he so deems it.
Yet thou making the honour with the wicked.
It was his brother, not his slave, that perished.
Wasting his land as he fell as its champion.
Nevertheless, Hades desired these rights.
But the good he says is not a portion of the evil.
Who knows, but this is blameless in the world below.
Foe is never afraid, not even in death.
'Tis not my nature to join in hating, but in loving.
Pass then to the world of the dead. And if thou must needs love, love them. While I live, no woman shall rule me.
But lo,
Yonder, the spirit comes forth, sheds such tears as fond sisters weep.
a cloud upon her brow casts its shadow of her darkly blushing face,
And breaks in rain on her fair cheek.
I have done the deed, if she allows my claim, and share the burden of the charge.
Nay, justice will not suffer thee to do that. Thou didst not consent to the deed, nor did I give thee part in it.
But now that ills beset thee, I am not ashamed to sail the sea of trouble at thy side.
Whose was the deed? Hades and the dead are witnesses. A friend in word is not a friend that I love.
Nay, sister, reject me not, but let me die with thee and duly honour the dead.
Share not thou my death, nor claim deeds which thou hast not put in thy hand. My death will suffice.
And what life is dear to me, bereft of thee?
Ask Creon, all thy care is for him.
Why vex me thus when it avails thee naught?
Indeed, if I mock, 'tis with pain that I mock thee.
Tell me, how can I serve thee, even now?
Save thyself, I grudge not thy escape.
Ah, woe is me. And shall I have no share in thy fate?
Thy choice was to live, mine to die.
At least thy choice was not made without my protest.
One word by wisdom, another mine.
Howbeit the offence is the same for both of us.
Be of good cheer, thou livest. But my life hath long been given to death, that so I might serve the dead.
Lo! One of these maids has truly shown herself to be foolish, as the other been since her life began.
Yeah, O king, such reason as nature may have given abides, not with the unfortunate, but goes astray.
Thine deed when thou choosest vile deeds with a vile.
What life could I endure without her presence?
Nay, speak of her presence, she lives no more!
But wilt thou slay the betrothed of thine own son?
Nay, there are other fields for him to plough.
But there can never be such love as bound him to her.
I want not to leave a wife for my son!
Him, beloved, how thy father wrongs thee.
Enough! Enough of thee and thy marriage!
wilt thou indeed rob thy son of this maiden?
'Tis death that shall stray these bridles for me.
'Tis determined, it seems,
That she shall die.
love, unconquered in the fight,
Love,
who makest havoc of wealth,
who keepest thy vigil on the soft cheek of a maiden,
who roamest over the sea and among the dwellers in the wilds. No morsel can escape thee,
nor any among men whose life is for a day, and he to whom thou hast come is mad.
The just themselves have their minds warped by thee to wrong, for their ruin. 'Tis thou that hast stirred at this present strife of kinsmen.
Victorious is the love-kindling light from the eyes of the fair bride.
'Tis power enthroned in sway, beside the eternal laws. For the goddess,
Aphrodite is working her unconquerable will.
But now I also am carried beyond the bound of loyalty, and can no more hold back the streaming tears.
When I see Antigone thus pass into the bridal chamber, where all are laid to rest.
But lo, Haman, last of thy sons, comes, he grieving for the doom of his promised bride.
Antigone, and this for the baffled hope of his marriage?
We shall see better than seas could tell us. My son, hearing the fixed doom of thy betrothed, art thou come in rage against thy father? Or have I thy goodwill? Act how I may.
Father, I am fain, and in thy wisdom trace to me rules which I shall follow. No marriage shall be deemed greater than the good guidance.
Yeah, this my son shall be the heart's fixed law. In all things obey thy father's will. 'Tis for this that men pray to see dutiful children go around them in their homes, and may requite their fathers with evil and honour, as his father doth his friend.
No, Though a man be wise, 'tis no shame for him to learn many things and bend in season. 'Tis the wit of a torrent course that yields to save every twig and branch. And even thus, who keeps the sheet of his sail taut, never slackens it, and finishes his voyage with a keel at most. Nay, for each wrath permits thyself to change. But if I am younger, may I offer my thoughts? It were far best, I ween, that all men should be all good wise by nature, in other wise and off scale. But 'tis also okay for those to speak aright.
So 'tis meet that thou shouldest profit by his words, if he speaks aught in season. But thou, Haman, by thy fathers, from where hast thou been wise speech?
Men of my age, are we indeed to be schooled by men of his?
In nothing that is not right, if I am younger, thou should look at my merits and not my years.
Is it a merit to honour the unruly?
I wish to show no respect to the evildoers.
Then is she not tainted with that malady?
Our Theban folk with one voice denies it.
Shall Thebes ascribe to me how I must rule?
See, thou hast spoken like a youth indeed.
Am I to rule this land by her judge and mine own?
That is not a city which belongs to one man.
Is not this city held to be the rulers?
Thou would make a good monarch of the desert.
This boy seems the women's champion.
If thou art a woman, indeed my care is for thee.
Shameless! That's up and feel with thy father.
Nay, I see thee offending against justice.
Do I offend when I respect mine own prerogatives?
Thou dost not respect them when thou tramples on the god's honour.
That's the nature, yielding place to women.
Thou shalt never find me yield to baseness.
All thy words at least plead for that girl.
And for thee, and for me, and for the gods below.
Thou shalt not marry her, on this side the grave.
Then she must die, and in death destroy another.
How doth thy boldness run in open threats?
What threat is there to combat vain resolve?
How shall I rule that witless teacher more wisdom?
Were thou not my father, I would have called thee unwise.
Women slave, not use wielding speech with me.
Thou wouldst speak, but hear no reply.
No, it's now, sir, now by the heaven above us, you shall smack the taunts me in this opprobrious strain. Bring forth that hereto thing that she may die for his presence.
No, not at my side, never. Think more than she shall perish, not to ever set eyes upon my face rib. Then with such good friends can endure thee.
The man is gone, O king, in angry haste. A youthful mind when stung is fierce.
Prince of Thebes, we have come with linked steps, both served by the eyes of one. For thus, by a guide's help, the blind must walk.
What is age, Tiresias, at thy tidings?
I will tell thee, and do thou hearken to the seer.
Indeed, it's not been my wont to slight the counsel.
Therefore didst thou steer our city's course aright.
I have felt and can attest thy benefits.
Mark that now once more thou standest on fate's fine edge.
What means this? How I shudder at thy message.
Thou wilt learn when thou hearest the warnings of mine art. As I took my place on mine old seat of augury, where all birds have been wont to gather within my ken, I heard a strange voice among them. They were screaming with dire, feverish rage that drowned their language in jargon, and I knew they were rending each other with their talons murderously. The whir of wings told no doubtful tale. Think then on these things, my son. All men are liable to err, but when an error hath been made, that man is no longer witless or unblessed, who heals the ill into which he hath fallen, and remains not stubborn.
Old man, he'll shoot your shafts at these archers at the butts, but ye must need more practice with seacraft also. Aye, the steed tribe of long traffic to me made with their merchandise. Gain your gains, drive your trade, and if ye must list the silver gold of Sardis, of gold of India, ye shall not hide that corpse in the ground to me. By the eagles of Zeus, who should bear the carry morsels of their master's throne. No, not for dread of that famine will I suffer at his burial, for I know that no mortal can defile the gods. But, aged Tiresias, the wisest fall into shameful form in the clothes, shameful thoughts in fair words, for lucre's sake.
Alas, doth any man know? Doth any consider?
Whereof? What general dost thou announce?
How precious, above all wealth, is good counsel.
As folly, I think, is the worst mischief.
Yet thou art tainted with that distemper.
I will not answer the seer with a taunt.
But thou dost, in saying that I prophesy falsely.
For the prophet tribe was ever fond of money.
And the race bred of tyrants loves base gain.
Knowest now, thou speech is spoken to thy king!
I know it, for through me thou hast saved Thebes.
Thou art a wise seer, but lovest evil deeds.
thou wilt rouse me to utter the dread secret in my soul.
Out with it! Only not speak it for gain.
Alas, methinks I shall not, as touching thee.
Knowest now, they shall not trade on my resolve.
Then know thou, I know it well, that thou shalt not live through many more courses of the sun's swift chariot, a corpse for corpses.
The man hath gone, O king, with dread prophecies, and I know since the hair on this head once dark hath been white, that he hath never been a false prophet to this city.
Yeah, I know it well, and I'm troubled in soul. 'Tis died to yield, but to smite my pride with ruin, this also is a dire choice.
Creon, son of Meneceus, it behoves thee to take wise counsel.
What should I do? Speak and I will obey.
Go, thou,
And free the maiden from her rocky chamber.
And this is thy counsel to have me yield?
yea,
King, and with all speed, for swift hands from the gods cut short the folly of men.
I may just had, but I resign my cherished resolve. I obey. Wouldst not wage a vain war with destiny.
go thou,
And do these things, leave them not to others.
Dwellers by the house of Chemist and of Amphion, there is no estate of mortal life that I would ever praise or blame as settled. Fortune rises as fortune humbles the lucky or unlucky from day to day. No one can prophesy to men concerning those things which are established.
what is this new grief that thou hast to tell for our princes?
Death, and the living are guilty for the dead.
Who the slayer?
Who the stricken? Speak!
Haman have perished. His blood had been shed by no stranger,
By his fathers?
Or by his own?
by his own, in wrath with his sire for the murder.
Oh, prophet, how true hast thou proved thy word.
These things stand thus. You must consider of the rest.
But lo, I see the hapless Eurydice, Creon's wife, approaching.
She comes from the house by chance, haply, or because she knows the tidings of her son.
People of Thebes, I heard your words as I was going forth to salute the goddess Pallas with my prayers. Even as I was loosing the fastenings of the gate to open it, the message of a household woe smote on mine ear. I sank back, terror-stricken into the arms of my handmaids, and my senses fled. But say again what these tidings were, for I shall hear them as one who is no stranger to sorrow.
Dear lady, I will witness of what I saw, and leave no word of truth untold. But his father, when saw him, cried aloud with a dreaded cry and went in, and called to him a voice of wailing, unhappy. What deed hast thou done? What thought hath come to thee? What manner of mischance hath marred thy reason? Come forth, my child, I pray thee, I implore. But the boy glared at him with fierce eyes, spat in his face, and without a word of answer, drew his cross-hilted sword. Then hapless one missed his aim, and collapsed his maiden with his faint embrace, and sent forth from her pale cheek the swift stream of oozing blood. But one hand was not empty, but who have sword up lay besides. With thee and thou art soon to look upon the woes within thy house.
What were those jets for Pamils?
Thy queen hath died. From mother of yon corpse, a hapless lady by blows newly dealt.
Whoa. I threw a dread. Is it not to strike me to the heart with a two-edged sword? Oh, miserable that I am, and steeped in miserable anguish. Lead me away, I pray you, a rash, foolish man. Who else learned thee? Ah, my son, unwittingly am thee, my wife and have that I am. I know not which way I should bend my gaze or where I should seek support. Falls the mist which is in my hands, and yonder again, a cushion fate that hath leapt upon my head.
Wisdom is a supreme part of happiness, and reverence towards the gods must be inviolate.
Great words of prideful men are ever punished with great blows, and, in old age, teach the chasten to be wise.